Let's get into our math journal pages on page 234 and 235. So let's read the directions. It says multiples of unit fractions. Write an addition equation and a multiplication equation to describe each picture. So let's look at number 1. They're showing us 2 fraction circles. And it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces in each fraction circle. So I know that it's going to be eighths. And I notice there's 1/8 here and 1/8 here. So my addition equation would be 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 2/8. Now we have to think of a multiplication. Well, I have 2 groups of 1/8. So remember, when there's something in groups, it's multiplication. So it would be, I'm actually going to make my pen a little bigger, 2 times 1/8, which would give us a multiple of 1/8, which is 2/8. Remember, a multiple is a product of a number times that unit fraction. So 1/8, the first multiple of 1/8 would be 1/8, 1 times 1, or it would be 2 times 8. And then what is the second multiple of 1/8? Well, it's 2/8. Because 2 times 1/8 is 3/8. Say they asked us for the third multiple of 1/8. It would be 3/8. The fourth would be 4/8, and you would keep going. Remember, the multiple is just the product of a number times that unit fraction when we're talking about multiples of unit fractions. Okay, let's look at number 2. The picture that they give us is a little different. They're showing us a number line, and I can see here my denominator is fifths because these all are fifths. And they're showing us how many hops on the number line you are going, because each hop you are adding 1/5. So you have to make believe that there's little addition signs here. So our addition equation is 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. And how many times did I add 1/5? I add it 6 times. And I know this because you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hops on that number line. So you can do 6 times the unit fraction, which is 1/5, would give you 6/5. Same if you added all of these up and you notice that you landed on 6/5 on that number line. What is the 6th multiple of 1/5? It is 6/5. And we know that because 6 times 1/5 is 6/5. So that's the 6th number. And if I counted, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6/5 would be the 6th multiple. Okay, 3 and 4. Draw a picture to represent the equation. So now they give us the addition and multiplication equations, but now we have to draw the pictures. So for the pictures, I'm doing fraction bars because I feel like I can get them more even than I could if I was doing fraction circles. So for this first picture, I see that I would have to split up my fraction bars into 6ths. So if I draw 1, I would split it in half. Oh no, actually. And then I would split these into thirds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me just redo that last one a little bit. Good. Now, I notice there is 1 group of 1/6, 2, 3. So I need to draw 3 fraction bars that each show 1/6. And then I would highlight 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. And that's the same thing as showing 3 times 1/6. Same exact thing. Okay, the next one. Addition equation for 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 equals 4/10. So I also can look at the number that I'm multiplying. That shows me how many groups. So I know that I'm going to have 4 groups of 1/10. So I need to draw 4 fraction bars. I'm going to split them in half. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sometimes fraction bars are a little bit tricky. You just have to make sure you have enough boxes. And I probably could have squeezed another one, but that's okay. I want to make them as even as possible. It's kind of hard to do on my iPad, but you guys just use the best you can. This is a great time to use that app I showed you guys in the mental math, is to use those free learning apps on Math Learning Center, because you can actually just pull up that app and do the fraction bars right there for you, and you won't have to draw them. Okay, so there's my picture. Now number 5, you guys can create your own unit fraction combination. So if I did one, for an example, if I did 3, well, that was my addition. If I did 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, that would be 3 times 1/2. And I would draw 3 fraction circles or fraction bars for my picture. And I would shade in 1/2 of each, and I would do that 3 times. Okay, let's go on to the next journal page. So multiples of unit fractions continues. So number 6, write the fractions as multiples of unit fractions. Use a visual fraction model to help you. This is another great opportunity for you guys to use those free learning apps if you need to do a fraction bar. So let's zoom in a little bit. 12 equals, well, I know the unit fraction has to be 12. 1/12, because my denominator is 12. I'm going to rewrite this just so I have a little bit more room. It's a little smaller. There we go. So what times 1/12 would give me 4 12s? Well, I know 4 times 1 is 4. So this answer is 4 times 1/12 would give me 4 12ths. Because 4 12ths is the 4th multiple of 1/12. So you're just building on your knowledge of multiplying fractions with like denominators and using your knowledge of unit fractions to create multiples, just like you did when we learned about multiples and factors in the beginning of the year with multiplication. It's the same thing, you're just applying it to fractions. Okay, so 8/10. I know my, oh, sorry guys, had to sneeze. You know my denominator is 10, so that means it's going to be, my unit fraction is 1/10, and my numerator is 8. What times 8 would give me 8? Well, I know 8 times 1. So 8 times 1/10 equals 8/10. Okay. I see that my denominator is in fifths, so I have to do 1/5 is the unit fraction. And then what times 1 would give me 7? 7 times 1 would give me 7. Okay, last one, D, 8, 9/8. So I know my unit fraction is 1/8, and I have to multiply 9 times 1/8 to get 9/8. Okay, let's go down to number 7. Complete with a unit fraction. 7/8 is a multiple of the unit fraction blank. Well, you have to look at your denominator, and if my denominator is in eighths, the unit fraction would be 1/8. Remember, in unit fractions, the numerator is always a 1. So 4/5 is the fourth multiple of the unit fraction 1/5. 10/2 is a multiple of the unit fraction 1/2. 6/4 is the sixth multiple of the unit fraction 1/4. So you notice all these unit fractions have a 1 as the numerator. All right, next set of problems. For each number story, write a multiplication number model with an unknown to represent the problem, then solve. So what they want us to do is to write a multiplication number model with an unknown and then solve. So let's look at this word problem. Jessica made 3 pitchers of lemonade. Each pitcher holds 1/4 gallon. How many gallons of lemonade did she make? So if you wanted to draw a picture, this is my little gallon pitcher of her lemonade, and she made 3 pitchers, and each of those held 1/4. So she used 1/4 3 times. So my multiplication number model with the unknown would be 3 times 1/4 equals G for gallons. And if I answered that, 3 times 1/4, I'm going to multiply the whole number by the denominator, and I get 3/4. So she used 3/4 of a gallon of lemonade. That's how much she made. Okay, let's try this bonus problem. Try this. Jason has 6 pounds of almonds to put into bags of trail mix. He wants to put 1/5 pound of almonds in each bag. How many bags can he make? So we know that he has 6 pounds of almonds. He wants to use 1/5 pound of almonds in each of the bags. How many bags can he make? Well, let's see. We don't know how many bags, so that would be our unknown value, our x. And actually, so we don't get confused, I'm going to do a B for bags. We do know that he used 1/5 almonds in those bags, and altogether he had 6 pounds. So you have to think to yourself, x times 1/5 would equal 6. So if I did 10 times 1/5, that would only give me 10/5, which would be 2. So you have to think to yourself, how many wholes can I make? So I need to do 5/5 6 times, right, to get that whole number 6. So if I did 5/5 6 times, if I added this all together, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, I would get 30/5, which equals 6. So my answer for B would be 30, because if I did that by a unit fraction, if I did 30 times 1/5, I would get 30/5, which would equal 6 bags. I'm sorry, which would equal 6 pounds. So he used 30 bags of 1/5 pounds of almonds in each bag. He could make 30 bags using 6 pounds of almonds. Okay, guys, watch the next video for the math boxes.